Hey, woo, one more. All right, third fire of the night.
Dude, it's almost
Let's
like,
fucking get it.
Dude, I willed those refires into existence.
I know you did. You've been trying that for a while.
But you know what, dude? We're the only podcast on Earth that's like been like, yeah, we refired. And because people don't know what refire is, you know?
It doesn't matter. It's not a perfect thing. We never claimed. Damn it. We never claimed to be. So how about that? Sorry, my fucking chair is caught on the carpet. What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Mike's vaping.
I'm vaping.
He's vaping. Oh, dude, look at this. Everything's falling apart.
Jerry.
God damn it.
Jerry, take a deep breath. Worse things have happened to way better people.
That's true. That's true.
So,
Little scenic update following the seasons here. Senior Lodenstein and what's this one?
We never named that one.
So
Chonkla bitch.
So for those of you at home who aren't watching on YouTube, they look like penguins with stork legs, and
They're birds.
They look like pigeons.
They definitely look like penguins to me.
We're getting the fall decorations out, and these were in the box.
So
and
they're like
look, all inclusive.
plush.
There's rainbow wings with a sugar skull on this bird, and this one's got a fucking hat. He looks like a mariachi band player. Yeah. That's how they sing, right?
Bruh.
Mike, what'd you bring here? You brought some special juice for us. What is this? It's an unmarked bottle.
Salbidor.
Salbidor?
They have the names on it.
No. We rename them. I'm not going off Target's names.
Dude.
Target doesn't know shit about.
Dude, I called
art.
all my Beanie Babies their proper names.
These aren't Beanie Babies.
Allegory.
Yeah, no, it's Chonkla bitch.
Dude, you might have to do a 4-3. We're talking about fake fucking birds on the table. All right, man. Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
We know you're here. We're getting there.
All of our banal shit talking. But
Mike, tell me what this is.
So, this cat that I know at work, he's a cool
Don't say his
dude. Well, I'll just say his first name. It's so common. Is that all right? Am I allowed to?
Yeah. We'll find out.
John.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
You're
John.
making it up now.
yeah. John Doe. He
All right.
is. Because he's Mexican. So,
John Doyez.
no, John, my buddy, he brews his own beer.
Cool.
And so he sent these with me, these 2 beers. And I just want to say a shout out. We're trying your beer live.
Woo.
And so here it is. Prost.
Hey. Cha-ching.
That's good.
Too bad there's only one for each. Ooh, that's nice.
Actually,
It kind of goes from light to dark, which is exactly what our seasons are doing right now. Hence the scenic change on the table. Guys, what do you want from me? What do you want?
A decent joke.
That was a pretty good one.
hey, you know where you find a no-legged dog? Where you left him.
Dude, you sound like something right out of the Fairly Odd Parents.
Hey, kids, do you know why the monkey fell out of the tree? Because it was dead.
Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ. We are going to do a 4-3 fire.
We have to do a 4-3 fire.
No.
Dude, those, people.
We're 4 minutes in.
Some people listen and they're probably like, oh my god, that monkey.
The poor monkey.
How dare you make fun of that monkey's death?
It's not a real joke. It's not a real monkey.
Yeah.
It's a fake joke.
So Louis C.K., yeah. Like, boo that person I just made up.
Oh fuck. All right. Anyways, everyone, we have a pretty cool agenda tonight in terms of our storytelling.
Jerry's going through changes.
Permanent.
Already went through change.
Permanent changes.
Well, I mean, changes, emotionally, new kid, physically, shooting blanks.
Not
Taking the
yet.
seeds out of the juice.
Oh, that's right. You got to go back in for the checkup.
Yeah.
It takes up to 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months-ish. 2 months-ish.
You have to use protection for 2 months after the vasectomy.
So, everyone, I got a vasectomy, and I'll tell you the story of it tonight, or whenever you're listening. And then I know Mike used to be an x-ray tech, and he's got some crazy funny stories, so we figured we'd light that up tonight, see where it goes.
Yeah, see what happens, man.
All right.
First off, I just want you got your tubes tied, correct?
I'm going to. I haven't yet. They won't do it until everything's back to normal.
Okay. I do appreciate the solidarity. I mean, was it ever was it ever an option for him not to, or was he
No.
like, everybody was just like all
Yeah,
in?
it was. So it was. we knew, I would say like maybe 3 years ago, dude, that we didn't want any more kids. But we said that we weren't going to prevent it because I grew up with two brothers. She grew up with no siblings, right? So I was the only child, and she saw like the connection that me and my brothers have, and she wanted that for Revan. So, and I said, yep, that's fair. So we left it to chance, basically, to say like, hey, we're gonna give it a cutoff time to where after that cutoff time, that's it. You know, we're gonna make sure that we don't have any more, and
I didn't want kids after I was 30.
Yeah.
including like no kid would be born after. So 30 and then minus 9 months
Is when we would
is
stop.
when we were gonna cut off, which would have been March 2019, and in October, November 2018 is when we found out that we were
found
having
out
JR.
in November.
November, yeah, which is fine. Looking at the whole big picture now, dude, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay.
I'm perfectly content with it, and I'm so happy with like the brothership that my boys already have and everything. So it's just been definitely worth it. And I'm glad that this is the end. Like every diaper I change, I know is one less diaper, so I don't have to do it ever anymore until I have nieces or nephews or maybe even grandkids, right? And that's how far down the line
And,
is
and
that,
seriously, at that point, you're just running on credit. You know?
Yeah, right. Like I've done this. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like-
wow, oh my God, it's so cute. Take it away. Get out of here.
Yeah,
I'm going
so-
to bed.
This isn't my concern.
This is my concern. Bye. You're so cute. I bought these some clothes to wash.
So-
But no, yeah. So we knew what we were gonna do well in advance, and then it just did it afterwards.
Now it's come to fruition.
Yeah. So I got that, but I did want to before I told the story of me actually getting the vasectomy, which was now roughly about 27 hours ago.
Yeah, roughly.
I wanted to talk about I don't know how to explain it. The
Stigma around it?
stigma. Yes, thank you for the word. Thank you. Like, how do you? Okay, let me just ask you, yes or no. Do you think it is a demasculating thing for a man to get a vasectomy?
No.
Okay, a lot of men do, and I don't know why. They think, oh, I'm getting my balls chopped off. Oh, and this and that. I'm not really going to be a man anymore.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't believe the paper that he had to read. It will not affect this. It will not affect
Yeah.
this.
I'll go into that stuff later, but just
I mean,
just
most dudes who like don't want to get their balls snipped also have them hanging from the back of their pickup truck. If you don't,
like exactly. But I just, in my opinion, what's the less invasive surgery, vasectomy or the tubal something is what it's called. Yes, thank you. Tubal ligation. Litigation.
Ligation.
Ligation.
Sorry, guys. I'm not
No, just cool.
medically inclined at all in the slightest bit. But it's way less, dude. It's up to 30-minute procedure, 2 days recovery. You're back to work, right? So I'm back to work Monday. And
You're awake the whole time.
You're awake the whole time. The risks of just the overall benefits that it has for a man, and your woman not having to go through that, right? She doesn't have to go under to have that done, right? She doesn't have to have any sort of invasive surgery, or risk of this or that, or like in your case, like what you said about Julia. Correct me if I'm wrong, but basically after the last baby was born, your son, right? The doctor said that the something wall was so thin that the next baby would probably kill her.
Yeah. I mean, and it only made sense because we had agreed ahead of time to get her tubes tied,
Right.
and so they were already in there. But yeah, the doctor made kind of they were like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And it became like this like thing, and,
Right.
And then whenever it came down to it, the doctor's like, "Yeah, you really made the right call. You're
Right.
It's paper thin. So
So let me ask you this then. Don't you think it would be more manly for you? Let's say you weren't aware of that potential damage or
yeah,
that could happen, right?
that
And you
risk,
didn't tie her tubes.
Yeah.
And then you found out later, or she went through birth a third time and then died from it, right?
Yeah.
So how much more of a man are you for taking the precaution and going through this little bit of damage for 2 days, this little bit of pain to protect your woman from potential future harm, right? How much more of a man are you for doing that than saying, "Oh, I'm less of a man because I got snipped"? Like, I don't know if I'm making my point clear.
Well,
or
no,
not.
no.
Like,
I think it's if you're real, like then you're real. Does that make sense? Like if you're about what you're about, if you are who you are, most of the time, if somebody's like, "Yo, I did this," the first thing in your mind is like with a vasectomy isn't like, "Bro, how could you do that?"
Right.
Like, no, it's just like, "Man, that's your shit.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. You know,
Yeah.
It's not my fucking dick."
right.
And so, and you're right. It does take it's not a great sacrifice to avoid a great risk.
Exactly.
And
that's where I think it's more manly. It's more applaudable for you. You know what I mean? If you and your woman both agree, you don't want any more kids, and it's that much easier for the guy to just get a vasectomy, and then that in turn protects his woman so much greater. I think that is more manly than saying, "I got my ball. I can't get a vasectomy. I'm going to be less of a man."
You know what? I think what it comes down to, man, is just like the environment and mentality that you were raised with, because men are different from women in the simple fact that like men can procreate until they're dead.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
And some guys probably carry that with them subconsciously.
Right.
And then whenever they find out that somebody else did something that they don't understand, that seems so foreign to them,
right,
their automatic assumption is to put that thing down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just in their nature.
Right.
Well, we get a lot of questions. There's two main questions we both get is, are you sure you don't want to try for that girl?
No.
Like, no,
I'm sure.
I'm done. Like, doesn't matter what comes out next. Even Jerry asked a few days ago if we were guaranteed, if somebody came up to us and was like, you're guaranteed to have a girl the next time you get pregnant, would we still be doing a vasectomy? And we both just said, yep,
still do it. I don't want any more kids, regardless of if the next one is a girl or a boy or whatever. Like, I don't want to take care of kids anymore.
Well, then the next thing we both get asked is, well, what if, God forbid, something happens to you and Jerry, or you guys just don't end up together anymore, and you get with somebody else and they want you to have kids with them.
Cool.
Like, you can't do that anymore. And I'm like, here's the thing. I don't want kids anymore.
Yeah. I don't want kids anymore. And I don't care if that's selfish. It's the choice that I'm making.
I really think that it's just a ignorance, you know what I mean? Just to even challenge it. Because to me, that's such a foreign concept. Like, usually if people tell me something, unless it is truly offensive or off kilter or ignorant, for me, it's really hard to challenge someone, or even in like a nice way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I might show astonishment, like, "Oh man, that's a wow, that's a big decision," or whatever. But it's never like, "Why would you do that?"
Oh my God, people insert. I'm amazed at how many people insert themselves into your life. In general, just oh, I could never do that. Well, you're not me.
Yeah.
You're not living the life I'm living. You're not seeing the heartache raising my first son is. Yeah. And now adding
and that was
a baby to it.
That was the main convincing part, dude, was just how like I had when we were pregnant with our first son, Revan, I had expectations for how he was going to be as a kid. Yeah. And he has met those. Like, I just knew he was going to be smart, and he's extremely smart. And I knew he was going to be athletic, and he's extremely athletic. But I did not foresee the other complications that are along with his behavior, like ADHD and anxiety and things like that. And those things, especially compounded together, have just made things so much more difficult than I anticipated. Nonetheless, I'm still going to put forth all effort I have to take care of him, right? And that was part of the reason why I was like, I don't know if another one is good or not, because how much effort is this one already, and how much harder is it going to get, or when is it going to get easier? And to throw a baby in the mix of that, what if this baby's the same? Now I'm just exponentially growing the difficult things I have to deal with and go through. So, I mean, obviously you can't think like that, right? You can't put those things on the table when you want to have a baby. But like I said, we left it up to chance for the most part to say, like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, then we will be okay knowing that we gave it a shot. And lo and behold, it was meant to be. And here we are, man. But now it's not going to happen anymore. Give another 2 months here. 1 in every 2,000 vasectomies is not effective. So basically that means the vas deferens met back up together, and a sperm still travels from the testicles to the urethra, right?
Yeah, out your
and
penis,
then goes out into your ejaculation.
Man, Jerry, don't ever teach health.
I won't, dude. I fucking won't.
All right, kids. It's like that Mrs. Dottie. She taught, see a man put sperm into the woman's vagina.
Don't ever teach health, Mike. Yeah, no, not gonna be a teacher, dude. No. But anyways, so here's my story, dude. And babe, by the way, the reason it's dimming is the screensaver thing, so you might have to touch it every now and then, or I can just fix it real fast. But yeah, just touch the mask every now and then. So okay, just every now and then. So here's the thing, dude. Okay, so we walk in yesterday. Appointments at 4 p.m. We get there at 3:30, right? Because I know they're gonna give me a crap ton of paperwork to fill out. And I walk in, and the room is literally no bigger than this room, dude. And I walk in with her, Revan, and the stroller with JR in it, and I'm like taking up the entire middle area, and everywhere around me is nothing but old dudes and old ladies. And I look at Caitlin and I'm like, why the fuck are all these old ladies here? Because I had no idea. Again, not medically inclined, don't know anything about it, don't care about it at all. I did not know urology was a study of urinary tracts as well as
penises,
male reproductive organs, the penis. Yeah. So, yeah. Penis. Yeah. Now I know that, right? So it makes sense to me. So anyways, I sign in, I go up to the counter, and they call me up there, and it's this old lady behind the counter, and she's like, "Hi, how are you?" And I was like, "What are you laughing at already, dude? I haven't got to any jokes."
Imagine Jerry being like, "What are you doing here, you old bitch?"
Well, no, he looked shocked.
Dude, I was like,
he looked at me like, "What the hell? Why are there so many
Everybody
women
know
here?
girls don't pee. What's up with this?"
That old lady doesn't have a penis. Not everyone can be transgender.
Which one of you old ladies has a dick? Do all of you old ladies have dicks?
Let me see them. Pull them out in Metro right now.
I'm so confused.
Dude, I was lost for a moment. I was like, maybe I'm not in the right state. Like, what's going on,
I'm sitting
dude?
there running over spelling words with Revan, and he stops me and is like, "Babe, why are there so many chicks here?" I was like,
I didn't understand, dude.
I was like,
didn't
it's
know.
for men and women, Jerry. He goes, "Really?"
Didn't know that, man. So I looked it up on my phone. I was like, oh, and I told her what it was. Like, she was like, yeah, I know. Everybody knows that. I'm like, I didn't. So anyways,
I thought the OB handled that.
And the OB's down the hall, huh? Why don't you find your own doctor?
Yeah.
This is for the cocks.
Yeah. Go back to your pussy doctor.
Anyways, so
that's actually what OBs want to be called.
pussy doctor.
Be like, "What's up, pussy doctor?"
What the fuck? Stupid idiot. Goddamn moron, Mike. All right. So anyways, I get called up to the counter, and it's this old lady, not as old as the ladies that are apparently patients, but she
didn't have a dick. You knew she didn't have a dick. She worked there.
She was like, "Hi, how are you?" And I was like, "Well," and she looks at my appointment type. She starts laughing. She's like, "Yeah, that's fair. Like, I can see why you're okay. Yeah." And so she's like, he asked me for my insurance card and my ID, and then she tells me how much it's gonna be. And I was like, "Yeah, it's $800, right?" And she's like, "No, actually, it's gonna be like $480." And I was like, "Oh, insurance covers the rest?" She's like, "No, that's just, we can't charge you more than this amount because of your insurance. Like, they won't allow us to charge you more." And I was like, "Huh, it's a shame I can only do it once." Like, so they give me this fucking iPad.
So that I came. And I was like, I guess that's my last load with the swimmers. How much was that? $260? That's how much I saved.
So I can't. Dude, I've been joking about that so much. Like, when I have to go back and provide the sample so they can test it, I'm like, do you guys provide the porn or should I just bring my own? Like
Dude,
what should I do?
can you show me how much I saved again? Show me my receipt.
Show me how much I saved. Is there a line on this? Can I get a second jar?
Yeah, highlight the total.
Oh my god.
I knew I was gonna kill Jerry sooner or later. I got him.
Does it still hurt to laugh, Jerry?
Every laugh is a risk. It's just excruciating pain.
I'm sorry, dude, but I know you looked up and you're like, can you print receipts in German?
Dude, it's so true. Cause like, dude, I'm really I'm like on top of like our money thing. So like every time a dime is spent, I'm like, was that you? Did you spend money, babe? Like,
He really does. He'll text me and be like,
and
did you go to this place for lunch? I'm like, yes.
It's not by any means to control her. It's because I work in the banking industry and I deal with fraud all the time, and I'm paranoid about fraud on my own accounts. So I always account for everything that happens. And if she hasn't told me beforehand, which is fine if she doesn't, I just ask her, "Hey, was this you? I just want to confirm." She's like, "Yeah, that was me." Okay, we're good. That's the only reason. But yeah, I might bring the receipt when I go provide my sample.
Oh, Benjamin. Franklin.
All right. Anyways, dude. So, oh my god. So I fill out all this fucking paperwork, and then we wait forever, dude. Oh my god. All these old people went in before me. I don't know for what, but they all did. So then we finally go back there for the consultation, and my doctor, dude, is like spot on. Basically, Nick Kroll's my doctor.
Are you serious?
100%, dude.
And the way he talks.
Talks, like the cadence of his talk, the way he jokes. He's like super, like he has that like louder demeanor and like just super cool guy, dude. Turns out he was a fucking neurologist in the Air Force until he retired, and now he does it as his own thing. And it was super fucking cool, man. He made me feel real comfortable. Which when you get your balls snipped and stuff, it's like, you want to feel comfortable. So. Anyways, when we get back to the room before the consultation starts, this nurse comes in and she starts asking all the questions and stuff, and she starts basically like talking to Caitlin because Caitlin's holding the baby, right? She's holding JR, who's 5 weeks at this time, and then she's like, "Can I hold him?" And so she holds him, and she's talking about her own kids and how she had both her kids while she was on birth control and this and that, and like building rapport with my family, which is fine. I'm like, okay, cool. She's really nice. It was weird.
Shit, to shave your nuts.
No, when she was the one that was like, okay, go ahead and lay down, undress from the waist down and, lay down. And then she had to put like the thing on me and like wash my area and everything. I'm going to be super honest time right now, dude. You probably know this, but I've only been with one woman. And only one woman has ever seen me naked, right? Only
Besides
one woman.
His mom and his grandma.
Yeah,
and all that
for
stuff.
like diaper changes when I was a baby, but that really doesn't count because I wasn't a full-grown man. So after this woman has spent like 20 minutes building rapport with my family, then I have to go into this room, and then I'm like I was so uncomfortable. That was worse than the fucking surgery, dude. That was worse than any pain I felt from the surgery. Was the feeling of being uncomfortable and like having another grown woman have to like see me naked, like I have to show her my penis, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like this is.
It makes me feel better knowing that he's not comfortable
Dude,
having other women see
I
it.
felt like it was like nails in a chalkboard the whole time, like while she was in there. Like,
dude, I can just imagine you, Jerry, looking around the room and like losing your fucking mind.
well, like, dude, so like I thought she was just telling me that, and then she was gonna leave. So I started undressing super slow. Like, took one shoe off, then the other, then one sock, then the other, and then like I was waiting, and I was like, okay, maybe she hasn't left yet. Let me just slow it down, and then I like barely pulled my shorts down. And I was in my boxers sitting on the chair, not even like the medical bed, like just the chair. And I was just there, and I was like, okay, like any minute now you can leave. And she didn't. And then I realized I was like, okay, she's not leaving, so I have to continue now. And then I'm covering myself, and I just go sit on the medical bed. And she's like, okay, lay down. And I'm like, well, now I have to uncover. Like, so, dude, it was super uncomfortable. And I mean, she was professional about it. It wasn't weird. It was just weird because of the situation in the previous room. And like, when you're being personable with people, and you didn't tell me that you were going to be the one that had to do these other things, and I wasn't prepared for that. And dude, it was really weird, man.
He's more bothered by it than I am.
Super bothered by it, dude. And it's not even,
dude, it's just like literally a Tuesday for her. You know what
Well,
I mean?
that's what I said. Do you know how many dicks she's seen?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's
So I was thinking about that while I was like laying there and like getting washed. I was like, this has got to be super weird for a woman to be a nurse in this specific area of the medical field and then have to go home and like try to be turned on by a dick. No? You know how people get desensitized by things.
Yeah, it's 100. You compartmentalize.
Do you?
Working in the medical field,
That's a penis at work. This is a penis at home.
Well, it's not just that. It's
thing.
like, okay, for instance, and it's like, okay, so say there is an attractive, like 24, 25-year-old woman on the surge table, right? And she's having like something done with her shoulder or whatever. Like, it's work.
Yeah.
It doesn't like it's like, to me it was just to even think in terms of sexuality while we're in this situation is just a foreign thing.
Yeah. And I guess again, that's where like I've never had the slightest inclination to think about working in the medical field. So I've never thought about like you having to divide that line or just naturally being able to do that.
Yeah, right? you would go think about it this way, like if you're able to see like horrific injuries and then you have to go home and be a loving boyfriend, husband, father, whatever.
Right.
Like, and you know that out there in the world somewhere these things are happening to people. You'll go crazy. You'll go absolutely insane. So you just compartmentalize whether it's, you know, like a horrific injury or just a bunch of dicks.
Yeah.
They're just dicks. You know?
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing too.
Like, I mean, if anything, her husband's probably like, I know you've seen bigger. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
he's the one that's bothered by it more.
He's like, how many dicks today, Sharon? How many balls did you shave?
I mean, you can't really, though. I mean, I know you've seen bigger. I mean, in that situation, you're kind of cocooned inside yourself, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just like I
was gonna say there's like a small percent, and I know any man going in there would feel this, but there's always like the small percentage chance you're like, well, I have to show it now. Like, I'm about to have surgery, dude. I've been freaking out for days, so it's not in its full form. It's a little cold, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I know. Well, you worked in the medical field. You don't count. Any other guy,
dude? No, man. It's not even that. It's just like, whatever, man. It's like, how many of these have you seen? Fuck it. Like, it's not like mine's gonna be anything special. I mean,
I know. I'll never see her
as
again.
Long
and
as
that's
like,
fine.
as long
the whole
as,
thing bothered me, dude. The whole thing.
As long as she doesn't recoil or go, "Aw," like you're in good shape.
That's true. That's true. Neither one of those things happens.
So count it as a W, man. But anyway,
and no, she didn't have to shave me. I already did that myself, and
they asked him to.
Well, yeah, they tell you to, but I know because I was reading about it on Reddit, and a lot of guys were like, I shaved before, but I guess it wasn't up to their standards, and they shaved me too, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, fucking werewolf over here. Like,
no, dude, because what it is a lot of guys probably like, because the part that they usually make the incision on is like at the bottom, right towards the back.
No, it's your sack.
It's like
I got two on the sack, one at like the top on the left. Mm-hmm. And then one on the side on the right, but it's not neither one is towards the bottom.
Oh, well, I mean,
well, no, that if they're actually making the incision, I had
a non-scalpel.
Yeah, where they make two keyholes.
More like a puncture. Yeah, puncture.
Yeah. If they make the incision, it's at the bottom of your sack.
So yeah, so let me get to the the meat of the story here. So the vasectomy part happens, dude, and Doc comes in. He's super cool. He puts on some like classic rock. I don't even remember for sure if it was rock or not because we were just talking. He did that whole like verbal anesthesia thing where he just talks you through the whole thing, and it was probably like 20-25 minutes. The whole thing was so. Yeah, he was super cool about everything. Just like relating and asking like what to do for hobbies. Basically told him that we do this podcast, which he thought was super interesting, and talked a lot about that and some of the episodes that we talked about, I was telling him about those things. And
Cool.
But yeah, in terms of the actual, if anybody's listening to this at one point and they're going to get a vasectomy, or those that are just genuinely curious, they numb it, and he's like, okay, you're gonna feel a little sting here. It's gonna feel like a bee sting. It's a little bit more than a bee sting. I've been stung before. It's a little bit more. The first one I was like, oh, okay. The second one was the one where I feel like it went right into my right testicle, dude. Like, that shit fucking hurt. Like, it came in, and then it was like, and then it kept going, and I was like, okay, that one was a little painful.
Was it a burning sensation?
I don't remember any of that. I just remember the pinch in the skin.
I asked him the same thing. He didn't feel the lidocaine go in. I think it was just the initial stick.
Yeah, just that. But like just that, and like where that needle was going, it was just, that was the part that was painful. But other than that, you feel a slight like discomfort, like because like your shaft is like kind of pushed up, so that way it's out of the way, and then they have like the napkin on it, and then there's like, you feel. I'm sure you've probably like moved or scratched or worn shorts weird or something, and it's kind of like you're like, oh fuck, like,
yeah,
and you pulled that like vas deferens a little bit. Well, that's kind of what you feel, like kind of up in the like pubic area, and so there was like a little bit of a pull there, and it just felt like somebody was kind of like holding it, and then I could see his hands a little bit moving, like, because he basically pulls out the vas deferens, cuts it, ties it on both sides, cauterizes it. Cauterizes it. Sorry, I'm not a doctor. Cauterizes it.
I say cauterize.
Which you could smell a little bit in the room, but when I was talking, you're not. It's not. It wasn't.
Would bug me.
No, it's not that gross. It didn't smell like anything dead or anything bad like that.
It smells like burning, which is that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it wasn't like a bad thing. I mean, they're not going to make a candle out of it anytime soon, but. Cauterized body parts.
Fresh vasectomy.
Fresh vasect.
It's our fall collection.
So yeah, dude, he does that, and then the way he made it sound before was like it was going to be in the middle, and then he was going to pull both sides out that, and he didn't. So when he was like, okay, second shot, I was like, oh, god damn it. And then he had to do the same thing on the other side, which it all went through, and then when we were done, like, we didn't even get to the questions I wanted to ask him. So I was like, oh man, dude, I had a lot of dick questions to ask you. Like, I wanted to ask him, what's the oldest dick you've seen? What's the weirdest shaped dick you've seen? You ever seen a dick with scoliosis? Like, it's like shaped like an ass or something weird? Like, that's the stuff I wanted to ask him. But I didn't get to. But we did get to one part of the conversation where he was talking to me about...
You must really love dicks. How much do you love dicks? I have so many questions. Hey, if you had to pick between a baby dick and like 100-year-old dick, which one would you rather take care of? Like, because 100-year-old dick, so much can go wrong. But saying you want to look at a baby dick is kind of weird. Like... I'm sorry. I just like all the questions just.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, I just want to know all these things. But he was telling me something that I thought was really interesting, and I had after this happened, I read other people online saying their doctor said the exact same thing. But again, I read that afterwards. But he was telling me about how some guys will come in and do a reversal, which is a lot more intensive. You actually fully go under. It's like a microscopic thing where
like $3,000.
No, it was like $5,000.
$5,000.
It's like $5,000, and then after all, if the sperm does start to go back through, it's like you have a 50% chance of getting pregnant. And I was like, it's not as high as I'd thought. And he's like, it's better than 0. And I was like, well, do you think those guys maybe should have chose to freeze sperm or not? And he's like, if you're freezing sperm, you're not in the right mindset to get a vasectomy because you're that unsure if you want kids or not in the future. And most urologists won't do a vasectomy if you're freezing or considering freezing them because they know you're on that line and it's not the right thing for you. So I thought that was super interesting.
Why can't we freeze our own sperm? You know what I mean?
Well, in the freezer here? Like,
it's like, what temperature you need it at? You can get it down to that. You ever thought about that? Why are you paying a sperm bank to hold your sperm? You can hold your own sperm.
I don't know, man.
I have so many questions about this. Thank you, Oracle. But, so, dude, I gotta know.
Yeah.
What has the recovery been like thus far?
Oh, good question. So, Yesterday honestly was a little bit worse. Like as the numbness was coming off.
Yeah, you can't do that at home. Sorry. Minus 196 degrees Celsius.
190 minus 190 Celsius. What's
196
that in Fahrenheit?
Celsius.
What
Would
is
you
that?
have to like add 27 or something?
Fahrenheit? No, dude, I don't.
Yeah, because I want to know it in American things because I don't know it in other languages.
You know what I'm really pissed off about is why do we still use imperial? Like I hate to say it, but after dealing with certain substances, I gotta say, man, the metric system is just way more convenient.
Fahrenheit, it's negative 320.8.
See, I can
Fahrenheit.
comprehend that in my head more than Celsius. Now, I do agree the entire world should be on one specific thing, right? And I started agreeing with that when I went to Japan, and everything there is in like kilometers and the metric system, right? And it makes sense. And I always thought it was funny how America's the only place to do it different, yet we had the audacity to call it standard. Like,
dude, just the balls.
The balls, man.
The balls it took for our forefathers to look at there's a system that is so easy to convert that all you have to do is add and take away zeros.
Yeah.
Fuck all that.
What's a centimeter? What's an inch? Oh, 2.54 centimeters? Oh, okay.
It's like, what was a foot based on?
Yeah.
Your actual foot? Like,
I think it was based on somebody's foot. Let me see.
Somebody's jackass.
Whose foot was it? Was it like a Jerry West type deal where he became the logo of feet? Oh, man.
What's a mile? 5,128 fucking yards or some shit? Like, what are you
I gotta plug something in.
Oh.
It's the length of an average man's foot.
I don't know about that, dude.
12 inches.
Anyways, the recovery's been okay. Yesterday, again, those two tubes that you feel in your scrotum, those are the vas deferens. Mm-hmm. If you ever pinched one or scratched one weird, like it feels like those are like lightly being pinched a little bit at the top, right under the shaft. And then yesterday I had more testicle pain than today. Yesterday, like, let me see your arm. You'll understand this. It felt like about this much pressure was being applied to them.
No, it's not bad.
It's not bad when it's a little bit of time, but when it's on your testicle and it's for hours, you're like, dude, I just want it to stop. So I don't know why, but it's really weird. It's kind of like when you have blue balls and like you just got to cup them with your hand.
I've actually never had blue balls.
Yeah, congratulations. Okay, you're the only one.
Maybe I seal the deal. It's like there's only one person in this world that could have given you blue balls.
No.
One
person who could have relieved them.
Hey.
Bang, bang.
So anyways, yeah, I mean, that's been that so far, dude. I mean, I've just been wearing, I don't wear briefs. I'm a boxers guy, but I've been wearing briefs. Luckily I had some and they've been helping. And then today I did go out and buy a jock strap specifically for the cuppage of the unit. So not for any other purposes. So, Mike had questions on why.
So I walk in and he's changing JR. Jack. And
same thing.
Sorry, man.
Same person.
I know. It's just like I know there's somebody that I'm related to somehow that's named JR, and it's just like you know what I mean. Like I was like, I know.
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
A great moment. But so I walk in and Jerry's like, "Yo, dude," and then he mumbles. He's like mumbling something, and I just hear jock strap, and I'm like, I just kind of like chuckle, like, "Ha! I heard that joke that you just told me," and then he turns around and he like hikes up. He hikes up his fucking basketball shorts, and I just see a jock strap, and I don't. I just, but there's nothing but skin underneath it, and I'm like, and I forgot that he had gotten a vasectomy, so I like my brain shorts. I'm like, Jerry, that's so fucking gay.
Didn't you ask how I felt about it?
I was like, how did Kaylin feel? Like I was just so confused.
Yeah.
But the thing is he didn't pick up on that. He's like having one of his Rain Man moments where he's so excited to tell me about this jock strap. And I'm just like, dude, why are you telling me about your jock strap? I have so many.
Because you made a comment before about it and you were like, dude, like I was telling you, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm getting a vasectomy. I got to go get a jock strap because apparently it's a little painful afterwards. And you're like, I think you only heard I got to go get a jock strap, and you zoned out and you didn't hear anything else, and you're like, that's gay. And so when you came in today, I was like, hey, I got it on, and then again you're like, that's gay. Yeah. No, dude, it's for pain relief.
There's nothing more jarring than your close friend, who's also a man, hiking up his shorts without context in your mind and says, I'm wearing a jock strap. And then he shows you just one strap across that pasty white butt cheek. And I'm just like, why? What is going
so for the record,
on?
I've never had to wear a jockstrap. Like playing basketball, I never wore one. Like, yeah, I guess I know you do in football, but I never played football because I'm 5'6" and white. So I never played football in a league or anything. And so I got it, and I came home and I looked, and I was like, oh, there's a pouch. Like I put it in the pouch, and then I was like, wow, this is taking the pain away. Like this is pretty comfortable in that regard. However, I could do without the straps and my ass being bare. So I put boxers on over it and then my shorts on over that because I'm like, dude, this is just weird. Like, I can't wait for this
Jerry
to be
could never
over.
make it in assless chaps.
Well, assless chaps is a little different.
Just,
I understand the point of that.
It just like lifts and separates.
It doesn't lift and separate, dude. I'm wearing them.
Hey, man.
It's just it doesn't. Just, you know what? I got. You can try on the other one I bought if you want to see what it's like.
Have you worn them?
No, they're unopened.
I'm not interested.
You fucking loser.
Dude, what's the point of getting a jockstrap from a man if you can't smell it?
Dude, who is this guy?
Nah, man. So
But yeah, that's that, man. So I mean, I'm taking ibuprofen, but that's it, dude. I mean, it hasn't been as bad as I thought. I don't really have any bruising. There's no stitches. I don't know how he closed it up. Like, there's no stitches.
Yeah, the doctor went overkill on the pain meds. Like, we didn't even pick up the pain
I
meds.
didn't pick him up, dude.
What do you mean you went overkill?
They gave him Tylenol with codeine.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't even pick him up. I was like, I don't need it. It's not that bad. So yeah, that's a vasectomy in 40 minutes. And in the time you listen to that, you could have got one. So if you have questions,
So
let
please
us
spay
know.
and neuter your pets.
Yeah, dude. I thought it was super funny.
Jerry's the Bob Barker of man vasectomies, dude. You were gonna die on that hill.
Dude, go get one, man. Like,
everybody should get one.
if you're done, you're done, dude. I think so.
You go on Oprah, and if you look underneath your chairs, you'll all see a vasectomy. And you get a vasectomy. And you get a vasectomy.
All the females are just like, yay!
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I'll let you know in 2 months, man, if it's all juice, no seeds or not.
Dude, okay, so I just want to
It
go
better
back.
be.
I want to go back to the I'm sorry, Doug Stanhope did the best bit about getting a vasectomy. He's like, I think euthanasia is wrong, but I feel like we should offer like crazy white trash prizes, like a lifetime supply of Sunny D if you get your vasectomy. It's like it's preventative, so it's not messed up if they're agreeing to it. It's like, wait, you're telling me I can go crossbow hunting with the Nuge? Yes, sir. And all I got to do is cut off my balls? It's like, no, sir, you don't understand that we make a small and say, I want you to cut off my balls because
You don't lose your balls.
I'm going crossbow hunting with the Nuge. I want to hang them from my rear view mirror.
Stupid,
I ain't
man.
never won nothing in my life.
God, dude. Yeah, no, it's not anything like that, man.
No, it's
They're
just-
just now they just fucking free. They're just free in the sack now.
The
dude.
stupid questions, though.
Like
The is my hair gonna
Yeah.
fall out? Is my testosterone level gonna be low? Am I still gonna shoot out stuff?
what? Yeah, because that's important, right? Porn has ruined every man. Because there's a reason they want that. No, so your testosterone does not increase or decrease; it stays the same.
There's
your sex
no
drive,
side effects except for you're not shooting out sperm.
Like,
it's not.
Your girlfriend's no longer gonna be swallowing babies. That's the
Oh.
only difference.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, I was reading a thing and it was like, there's no change to your voice. There's no change to your hair. So I'm imagining some fucking loser guy that hangs those blue balls off the back of his fucking F-150.
Truck
and he's like,
nuts.
am I going to have like a pussy ass voice or something? Like they're going to cut him. He's going to be like, hey, ma, I got a vasectomy.
I had this cousin, and he had a brother who knew a guy's roommate who said that he got a vasectomy and then it turned into a vagina.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit that people think, though.
I felt like I was reading the answers that South Park characters were asking questions. Like,
Randy.
Yeah, it's like,
I am Lord. Yeah.
so yeah,
No,
that's
Dad,
that,
Lord's
man.
actually really good. Thanks, I know. No.
All right, so, dude,
All right, Mike.
Do we have time? Or we're gonna have to run over an hour?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. Let it ride. Let it ride. Part 2.
No, let me see. Man, I don't know if I can really top the vasectomy thing, man.
I don't know. How many things have you pulled out of assholes or seen
not
in
me,
assholes?
Not personally. So I guess I will tell this story then.
Gotta tell this story. If this is the only one you tell it.
Yeah, it's the only one I tell. So, working in the medical field, you see like a lot of weird shit. You see like crazy stuff and whatnot, and of course everyone knows that. But the thing that I was not aware of is like how everybody in the medical field who worked at a hospital has like some story about a foreign object in somebody's ass. Mm-hmm. It's like it's a thing. But what's really funny to me is I know it's happened, of course, but I have never even heard of a woman coming in with something in their ass. It's always dudes. 100% of the time, dudes, right?
But I'm not gay or nothing.
Yeah. So the thing is there's 3 types of dudes who have stuff in their butts. Mm-hmm. There's the first type, which is the guy who refuses to acknowledge that there's anything wrong. He's like, yeah, I just had a stomach ache. My wife made me come in. You know how women are. You know, like yeah, dog.
Probably something I ate.
Just not even acknowledging that there is a reason for him to be at the hospital right now.
But there's clearly an object poking out in his pants.
Well, no, what it is because until they get to us, usually by the time they get to us, we kind of get a history, or at least an x-ray, I mean. Yeah. But like in the ER, by the time they say you're getting an x-ray, most of the time they're like, okay, I just want you to know that I've been missing a couple of household objects. You know,
I just want you to know that I shoved 36 doll heads up my asshole.
Because I like the way they feel coming out. That's a real thing.
Oh my God. What the fuck, dude? That's weird.
Yeah, what's really weird is you can see fake hair on x-rays, but you can't see natural hair. So, like, if you ever see Barbie doll heads in somebody's colon, you see, like, the wavy strands of the hair. And, like, sometimes, like, I think you can even see, like, the outline of the plastic maybe a little bit.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, but by the time that they get down to x-ray, they realize the jig is up. You got to tell somebody what's up. And so the second type is the kind that will come up with the longest, elaborate story for how it got in their ass. Like, yeah, I was dancing around naked in my garage, and I slipped, and I fell on this perfectly perpendicular to the ground Phillips head screwdriver. Handle first. First.
Thank God for that.
Yeah,
but then it gets lost.
Yeah.
Because that suction.
So yeah. I think I was telling you, you're like, why didn't he pull it out?
Yeah.
I think that is like.
I understand there's a strong suction force.
Oh, dude, it is.
Once you get past a certain point, it's like.
Yeah, it's about
like a black hole.
2 to 3 inches usually, and it's just like there's no outlet for that pressure.
That's why you need a flared base.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, so what's that, Aaron?
That's why I say take the time, plan ahead. If you think you might be into butt stuff, go get something specifically designed for the purpose. Like,
show me the receipt. Highlight the total.
Michael made it funny. No, so
Jesus, man.
So the second type is like, yeah, so there I was in my kitchen, and my kid left out the stupid skateboard, and I slipped. I was naked, by the way. And then I landed on the Coke bottle. So, but then there's the third type, which is they're like unicorns. If you see them, it's like you caught Halley's Comet, you know, because it's the kind that not only acknowledges why they're there, tells you the nature of why they're there, but they're almost proud. You know what I mean? Like, can you fit the Pert Plus bottle in your butthole?
Oh my God.
Which one, dude? The fucking old school, the big green round one?
Dude,
Why are people putting shampoo in their ass?
Dude, that was
Why?
That was one of the ones that. Yeah. Anyway, so
You tell me you look around your whole entire house because you want to get off that bad, and you're like, you know what? The shampoo bottle.
he lives in the same universe that Mr. Hands did. You know. Yeah.
Dude, I just don't get it. Oh, but okay.
So-
Continue.
Well, there's that video of the guy that shoved the mason jar up there, and the mason jar breaks.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so Pert Plus. It's not a stretch. So anyway,
Or is it?
so this guy.
Wait, did you get that?
Yeah.
It's not a stretch. Or is it?
Sorry, had to.
Shooting from the hip.
Dude, we got off screen hits, man.
Dude.
Got a lot of hitters this one.
So
Fuck.
what
Alright.
happened? What ended up happening is this dude comes in, and like I said, but I'm friends with these ER techs, right?
Yeah.
And dude, I think they were just fucking with me, because this guy walks in. There's like, hey, we got a KUB coming down. Like, let you know.
It's KUB.
Kidneys, ureter, bladder. Those are the 5 things. Those are the 3 things that you need on the X-ray. You need kidneys, ureter, bladder.
Okay.
So it's basically just an abdomen X-ray.
Yeah.
But
Lower part.
they're like, we want it upright. We want him standing. And I was like, all right, upright abdomen, whatever. And so whenever you get an X-ray, I think it's a 519. You get an X-ray form. You have what the X-ray is, the patient's information, and then at the bottom it has like a reason. You need to have a reason for this X-ray to be done, because I'm administering radiation.
Yeah,
right?
fair.
And this dude, all he's got on all of his information says upright abdomen, and then it says patient complains of like times 1 day abdomen pain. That's all I got. I'm like, all right. ER tech comes in and walks in with this just normal looking dude. I mean, maybe somewhere between 40 and 60, somewhere in there. Just normal looking dude.
The aged men play with their ass, I guess.
I mean, dude.
I don't know.
So he comes in, and I'm like, all right, sir, can you just tell me a little bit about what's going on today? And after I verified his
Info. Yeah.
his info, and he goes, he's like, stomach pain. I'm like, all right. So I put the board in the back down, take the X-ray, and it was still one of those machines where you had a cassette and you had to take it back to let it process. So I'm standing back there and I'm letting it process, and it's like coming up, and it's like slowly, and then I see like metal. It's, dude, he had a 4 D-cell mag light in his ass, like a police issue over the shoulder mag light
Flashlight. Yeah.
in his ass, like
big ass, the big black fucking
Yeah.
flashlight. Yeah.
And I'm like, this dude walked over here. Like,
That's a fucking trooper.
yeah. I mean, so the thing
He
is,
enjoyed it the whole time.
so the thing is,
Dude, it's like this big.
so it was like handle first. So if you can imagine, maybe a couple centimeters of this mag light were outside of his asshole looked like a Jeep headlight. It's like, and I think I used to do a bit where I was like, and that dude is basically like a transformer now.
Like, yeah, he's an Autobot.
He's more of a Decepticon. Yeah,
I'd be more impressed if he could turn it on and off.
yeah. That was the other joke that we all had, was like, if you did Valsalva where you like bear down, then maybe he could like, yeah, he could
Click
do
the
like,
button.
do like SOS, like
He can tell you the whole story.
that was Morse code, y'all. But so yeah, man, it's just one of those. It's one of those things where, so like, I'm not gonna go too far into detail with this, because so if there's an object in somebody's butt and you can permeate it to relieve pressure, you know what I mean, or like you can drill a hole in the bottom, not permeate. You can drill a hole in the bottom, relieve pressure, and pull it out. Can't do that with a mag light.
No.
You use your imagination.
They had to do surgery.
They had to heave ho it, I think. Yeah.
Ooh. You know how like you get that like feeling like that cringe of experiencing a pain that you've never experienced, like that. Like I used to feel that for vasectomies, and now I don't. But like I still feel it for that.
What's really funny about this, and I always forget this part. So like a couple years later, I went to ultrasound school for a little bit, and a lot of ultrasound techs were X-ray techs first, but the school is different. But the teacher was like, I brought up that I was an X-ray tech, and we were talking about foreign objects in people's butts, and I was like, I told the story about the mag light, and all these people were like, no fucking way, blah, blah. And I was like, I asked her if she could pull it up on the projection thing. It's like,
yeah,
it's my marker. Like, it's like right there. You see, we found the picture online. It was like on Reddit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had pictures on like the front page of Reddit.
Oh yeah, here. Let me.
Well, just show me when you.
Yeah, whenever it's done. But yeah, I mean that's basically it. I mean, it's just kind of like one of those stories where you have like moments in the medical field where you're like, Jesus Christ, is this like, fuck, man, how did he do it? Oh yeah, I forgot how it happened. It's like, I guess, from what I understand, him and his wife, they were experimenting, and they put, I think they put two.
Are they experimenting or remodeling?
For real, bro.
Maybe she was the handyman in the house, and she's like, God damn it! If you don't hold that light where I can see. He's like, you know what? I got it. Sucks up his ass, bends over a fucking ottoman. He's like, all right, is that steady?
Some people say Bill wasn't a go-getter, but he always went the extra mile. Dude, the funniest angle that I think I kind of alluded to it earlier was one of the comic friends I had alluded to this. He's like, have you lost something in your house recently? What's the best place to hold a mag light?
Jesus,
no, but
dude.
yeah, man, it's just you kind of have those fucking weird ass moments. It's like,
well, did
But
you have
how
any
did it
sort
happen?
Oh,
You never finished.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
well,
I'm sorry.
They put a condom over it, and then I guess she was giving it to him because they lubed it up so much that
And it
whenever
just-
yeah, and it's like the thing that it was just she just like it turned into like one of those toys you used to get at the fair where it just like slide through your hand,
Yeah.
and then you would hit that, so she's like ugh, like grabbing that invisible rope, and then gone. You see, most people will wait a day and try to like get it out themselves. And it's
That
like,
ain't coming out.
no, it's not, but it's like a futile effort, and like you don't really want to go to the hospital unless you absolutely have to for something
Well,
like
for
this.
that, yeah.
Yeah, it's bad, man.
What was your confrontation with him like after the X-ray process? Did you have any talk, or he just goes back to the room and you give the people the
Jerry,
pictures?
you just had a vasectomy, right? And
Yeah.
I'm sure right after the vasectomy you weren't really down to talking for strangers.
Oh no, he was like
Be
it's
bumping around.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my point was going to be like, it's kind of hard
Me.
to be. It's kind of hard to be personable when you have a 4D cell mag light in your ass.
No, I wasn't trying. I'm not saying you were like, oh, so how are the kids? Like, how's your wife? Like,
Oh no, dude! To me, it's like whenever you see that, like live, and the thing
you're
is,
just like, all right, sir, you're good. You can
Yeah.
go back to the lobby.
yeah, I got what I needed. I called the doc, and I'm like, dude, did you know about this?
This guy's
He's
a
like,
freak.
well, when he bent over and it was on, I was kind of, I had a suspicion. but-
Dude, they fast tracked him. I bet that's.
oh,
probably-
they had to.
Oh
man.
yeah.
yeah. It's a big because
He's a
it's
fucking-
penetrated sigmoid. It's a big deal, man.
I'm
Good.
surprised he didn't.
15
It
inches.
didn't tear anything.
To be honest with you, man, God knows like what kind of recovery I have in mouth. But I do. The funny thing about the ER is like you. I think that ER and X-ray usually has like this weird confrontational relationship. I've always had pretty rock solid rapport with my ER because it's just me and them basically. Like I'll go up to ICU and shoot a couple portables, but for the most part, the only people I'm going to deal with is them. But so byproduct of that is like it stays pretty loose, at least in my experience, right? You just kind of like you have
The beehole? The beehole?
Oh my God, Jerry! Oh
That's
no.
not what he's talking about.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Okay.
Your rapport.
Yeah, you have rapport with your ER techs, right?
Okay, yeah.
So,
Not your butthole.
Well,
but basically,
15 inches by 2 inches.
basically what I'm saying is everybody's able to laugh at the whole thing. Like you
Yeah.
can joke around, especially this military report. But anyway,
Yeah,
so
I would expect that.
The whole reason that I'm bringing this up is I did do a portable X-ray one time when I was in Vegas, and it was this older black woman. And I was doing a chest X-ray on her, and she was obviously like she had like a lot of jewelry that was indicative of her faith in Jesus Christ, very very much so. But anyway, so I go into the room and I'm like, "Hey, ma'am, I'm gonna be doing your chest X-ray and whatnot." And she's like, "Okay," and she's really sweet, and I was like, "Okay, do you have any metal from here up, including an underwire in your bra?" And she's like, "Yes, I have." So I was like, "All right, ma'am, I'm gonna step out, and let you do it." And then she's like, "I actually can't undo it. And I was like, all right. So I just like reached behind her back and I just like snapped it with like one hand. And she's
You
like,
pulled
oh,
a Joey.
yeah. But she's like, ooh, you did that quick. And I was like, yeah, I went on a lot of dates when I was younger. And I just like, I just wheel out. And then like, as soon as like I close that curtain, it like hits me like what I just said. And then I just hear like two of my tech friends like, bruh, like, you just said that to a 7-year-old woman. Like,
I went on a lot of dates when I was younger.
Yeah.
Mike admitted to being a man whore.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, he did. Yeah, twice this episode. He's never had blue balls.
Yeah.
I just, you know what? I mean, maybe. No, I mean, I don't know. I'm not that I know of. I've experienced. Is it intense?
Yeah.
Really?
It hurts, dude.
It's a lot of dry humping.
It just feels like somebody's like squeezing your balls, and then even if you like once you hit that point, it's there for a bit. Like you just have to experience the pain. Like even if you go nut and then it's still there.
Yeah.
So it goes away after a while. Like it happened when we first started. Like it happened with other girlfriends, but it happened when we first started dating, and then after a while it started going away, and then you stop doing things half-ass. We start going the full mile.
I hope I'm not being braggadocious, but I've never fucking had blue balls, man.
No, that's fine. Congrats, I guess. But
I mean, I saw a dry hump going on, but it never happened to me, man. Guess I gotta count my blessings. But yeah, man, you see some pretty weird shit, and I got a bunch of stories for a different time, man.
Yeah,
it's just kind of
cool,
weird
man.
shit comes along.
We could take it out right now. We're good.
Yeah, bro, let's take it out.
All right. Hey, everybody, what a fun time we had today, huh?
You doing ASMR?
No, no, I just want to make.
No, he's trying to be Jim from The Office and look in the camera.
No, absolutely not. I'm just saying. Like,
I thought that was my judo.
Oh man! All right,
this.
everybody. Hey, thank you so much for listening. Also, last week's episode, the football episode. Shout out to my boy Eric. He commented 3 different comments on YouTube in regards to our talk about football.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but nobody replied.
Thanks, dog.
Nobody replied with their top 5. So that's what it is. We'll let ours ride. But yeah. So everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Please continue to share, especially this one, with your friends and your relatives and your significant others and everything. You
gotta pour one out for Jerry's balls.
Dude, I'm happy I was able to make it out today. No, pour it out. Oh, it's empty.
I was gonna pour it on the terrible towel, but then I realized where I am. Watch football here on TV.
All right. Hey, everybody, again, thank you so much. More to come soon. Take it easy.
I'm disappointed in you, Jerry. You should have ended it. Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets.
Oh, don't forget to spay and neuter your man.
And remember, don't forget to spay and neuter your husband.